Aye, Shepherd's Pie, greetings from the Philippines. Welcome back to the channel for a coffee and a chat. Was going to do a walk and talk today, but sadly the weather has beaten me. It is wet and windy, as you can see behind. So I'm going to do a coffee and a chat. Haven't done one for a while. What are we going to talk about today? Well, we're going to talk about Westerners or foreigners behaving badly in the Philippines, primarily Dumaguete, because it is no longer going to be tolerated. You are living in the Philippines, you are living in Dumaguete, and you will abide by the rules. Now, that's not me saying that, it's this chap.
You know, this is Dumaguete. Dumaguete is a part of the Philippines. So you are now living in Negros Oriental, Dumaguete, in the Philippines. You will abide the laws of the Philippines. You will abide the laws of Negros Oriental. You will respect the people of Dumaguete. Diba? So
Now, most of you won't know who he is. I didn't know who he is. So I did a bit of research, and his name is Cezanne Fritz H. Diaz. My girlfriend Ellen reliably informs me that he goes by the name, they basically call him Fritz Diaz. And he is the Vice Governor for Negros Oriental, which is the Dumaguete side of the island. And he's the Vice Governor. And he is a very important person. I will tell you what his responsibilities are. Vice Governor in the Philippines leads provincial legislative boards and steps in as governor if the office becomes empty. Legislative duties, runs board meetings, acts as the presiding officer, helps shape local laws, ordinances and resolutions for the provinces. So he is a lawmaker. When I first saw this video on Facebook, I mistakenly thought he was I asked Ellen who it was, and she said he was the mayor of Darwin, which I thought, well, why is the mayor of Darwin talking about Dumaguete? It doesn't really matter what he thinks about Dumaguete because Darwin is a different area. But then I found out, no, you've got to take this chap seriously because he's the Vice Governor. Not the governor, but from what I can see, the little research that I've done, Vice Governor has more responsibility in terms of legislation and passing new laws and resolutions than the Governor himself does. So, yeah, he is someone that you have to take seriously. And basically, he did a press conference. I may well tag it to the end of the video, but the trouble is he flips from English to Visayan. I got Ellen to translate some of it for me. Not all of it is to do with Westerners, expats, foreigners, whatever you want to call us. And it was quite difficult to edit because he does flip between the topics. But it's quite clear that he has decided, rightly or wrongly, that there are a number of expats, Westerners. I'll try and stick to Westerners or foreigners because when I say expats, people, it seems to be an emotive term, who are behaving badly here and that it will not be tolerated. That a number of us seem to think that we are better than Filipinos and we're not, and he's not going to accept that behaviour. But listen to him yourself.
So, I don't know why foreigners is like that. Ang uban, ha? Ganabi? Kaya they think that they are, they are superior. So, di pwede na. Di ba? All foreigners will respect us, abide our law. Kay,
I agree. Behaviour like that is totally unacceptable. And it happens. I have seen it here. I have seen Westerners behaving badly. I have seen Westerners shouting at pedestrians, shouting at people without helmets, you know, all that kind of thing. Now, yeah, the laws are you should wear a helmet, but it's the police's job to enforce it, not us Westerners or tourists or whatever. I certainly wouldn't shout at people or behave the way he said the reports he's received have said that people are behaving that way. And I say I've seen it. but it is very small percentage. It is very limited, which is why I kind of took exception to what he was saying, because he seemed to be suggesting that it was foreigners in general. But having discussed it with Ellen, I have concluded now that it was lost in translation, because, as I say, most of the press conference was in Visayan, and he clarified it when he made these comments that he wasn't talking about all foreigners. He was talking about a small percentage that he was going to concentrate on. But basically, he was quite clear that the behaviour was unacceptable, it was not going to be tolerated anymore, and they were going to crack down on it. Well, fair enough. I don't have any problem with that. I think they should crack down on it. The question is, how blunt an instrument are they going to use to crack this nut? Because it's quite worrying from an expat living over here, the sense that he says he's going to use his influence. He's going to talk to the police. He's going to talk to immigration. They hold monthly meetings, apparently, the immigration, where they decide whether someone is desirable or not. And he is going to take an active part in that going forward.
Coordinate that paminawon sa I will talk to the Commissioner of Immigration. Special visit ko, so that any complaints with na help desk for Negros Oriental only. Kaya usa man tas pinakadaghang foreigner karon. Di ba? So help desk for Negros Oriental fast. Kay once a month ra maning meeting, hearing sa Board of Immigration. Ang ilang hearing once a month. So kung di ka masulod sa hearing, pila na po sa iskatuig, pwede ka duwa ra ma-hearing. So mukhang you take advantage on this position that I can help also the Philippine National Police.
Well, it's a worry, because sometimes people can, innocent parties, shall we say, could potentially get swept up, caught up in this. What they consider to be unacceptable behaviour. Only time will tell. I say, it really doesn't matter what I think. I'm not a citizen in this country. I'm just chewing the fat. They don't care, I'm sure, what I think. But I've kind of seen this thing before in the Philippines with Anaton, who was a leader of one of the parties in Thailand. And he ended up becoming Prime Minister on the back of a ticket that basically Westerners were the cause of all their problems, that they would, I'm trying to get the aircon working now, it's nothing's working today properly, and yeah, he basically rose to power on an anti-immigration ticket. Now, I'm not for 1 second suggesting that's what's happening here. I'm just saying, having watched the press conference several times, there are worrying signs, shall we say, that there may be a movement certainly in the Dumaguete area to start blaming Westerners for some of the woes over here. Now, as I say, I'm not for 1 second suggesting that's what this chap is doing, but it's a concern, because we could all get caught up in it. And what does he mean by he's going to use his influence? Does that mean they're going to just target the offenders? If they are, power to them, fair enough. Or are they going to look less favourably or be stricter on tourist extensions, renewals, things like that? Only time will tell. It's going to be a question of suck it and see, really. Maybe nothing's going to come of it. Maybe there is going to be a crackdown. Maybe it's warranted, maybe it's not. But as I say, it's easy to jump to the conclusion that there's racism in the context of the speech, because he does use the term foreigners, not some foreigners. As I say, Ellen assures me that it's he does specify the fact that it is some foreigners and not all of us that are behaving this way. I do wonder why the ones that are think they have the right to behave that. I mean, he does say in the speech that a lot of some foreigners seem to think they're superior. And they really do. I've met some of these people, and, I wouldn't shed a tear if they're gone. But equally, it's why I say you go full circle, because, you watch it and you think, well, he's right, they shouldn't be behaving that way. But then equally, you think, well, there is so much in terms of I mean, what these expats are presumably shouting and complaining about is the lack of helmets, it's the bad driving, it's the no lights, etc. You know, there are a lot of problems in Dumaguete in terms of the things I've just talked about. You know, traffic congestion, pollution, rubbish, refuse collection, you know, roadside laws not being obeyed in terms of helmets and all the rest of it. There doesn't seem to be a crackdown on that. There seems to be a crackdown on Westerners highlighting that. You know what I'm saying? So, as I say, I've gone full circle. First time I was a bit annoyed, a bit concerned. I thought it was a repeat of what I'd seen in Thailand, where we were blamed for COVID and everything, and all the terrible things that happen in the world. Then I thought about it and I thought, no, wait a minute, he's right. You know, these people shouldn't be behaving that way. And I still stick by that, they shouldn't be. But then it's like, yeah, well, wait a minute, why a big press conference about this? Why are you picking this out of all the issues in Occidental, Negros Occidental? But Negros Oriental even, I can't speak today. I'm terribly tongue-tied because the cat's playing over there, the dog's causing a nuisance under here. I'm not going to edit it out. You get raw content with me. And now this was a couple of weeks ago. I've been very ill the last few weeks. So, you know, so far, there doesn't seem to have been much movement. There doesn't seem to have been much development. You know, maybe it's all a lot of talk. But this seems, from what other research I've done, he is a serious chap. And you would be foolish not to take what he says seriously. And at the end of the day, you know, this is the Philippines. It's the Filipinos' country. It's not ours. If you are behaving that way, then I would strongly suggest you stop. Because you've got no right to. I mean, no one does. I'm not defending bad behaviour in any shape or form over here. You know, the kind of people that behave that way, yeah, they deserve everything they get, basically, as far as I can see. And he goes on a lot. You do meet a lot of arrogant Westerners over here. But equally, as I say, we don't want to all be tarred with the same brush. You meet a far greater number of very respectful Westerners who wouldn't dream of behaving the way he's described. So yes, you know, it's like the old adage, isn't it? You know, one rotten apple spoils the barrel. But I mean, only time will tell. I haven't heard anyone getting the third degree when they've gone to renew their visa. Haven't really spoken to anyone who has. But this was a few weeks ago. But as I say, I did see this in Thailand. And one of the things that I've enjoyed about the Philippines and what's kept me here is the fact that you feel incredibly welcome. But I have started to get the feeling the last few weeks. I'm not going to bother putting it up there, but it was recently a TikTok video where this Filipino was complaining that she'd been in a restaurant and she'd made some noise and a Westerner had told her to keep the noise down. And she was basically, you know, this is our country, we're proud, noisy people, you know, why do these people think they can come here and tell us how to behave? Which was interesting. Because a lot of the responses were from Filipinos saying, well, we're not a proud, noisy culture. We don't want noise. Why are you being so noisy in a restaurant anyway? So nothing is cut and dry. The point is, I have seen a few things like that on Facebook and TikTok. Ellen has shown them to me. When you combine it with this recent speech by the Vice Governor, do start to wonder if the tide is turning over here. Are we going to find ourselves, potentially as in Thailand, a crackdown, you know, where we're not as welcome, you know, where they do make renewals more difficult, where they do shorten the period where you're able to extend your visas? I hope not. Only time will tell. But it's one of those things, you know, there's not really much you or I or any Westerner who's over here can do other than watch with great interest and see how things evolve, because it's out of our hands, really. I mean, that's the reality of it. You know, what will be, will be. But certainly, from what I saw, my take on that was he's serious and he's a powerful guy. He says in the press conference that he's going to crack down on the police. He's going to want to know what they're doing to crack down on it, and if they're not doing enough, he's going to make them do enough. He's going to start getting involved in the monthly immigration decisions, you know, when they review renewals of people who complaints have been made against them. As I say, the Vice You know, there's only one person higher than him on this side of the island, and that is the governor. So people would be foolish to take his comments lightly. You know, yeah. Only time will tell. But I would love to know what you think. I know some people will say I'm worrying about nothing. Well, I'm not really worrying. I'm intrigued. I am interested to know how this pans out. There's no point me worrying because what will be, whether I worry about it or not. But I would be very interested to know what your opinions are, what your views on this are. Is it cause for concern? Particularly if you're living in Dumagetti. Because recent conversations I've had with people, there seems to be a suspicion, shall we say, that bad behaviour is tolerated more in Dumagetti than it is in other provinces. So maybe that's what this is about. I mean, maybe it is an effort to, you know, get things more in line here as they are in other provinces. I don't know. And it is important to note that this is only Negros Oriental. I mean, this guy only has authority here. He's a big player here. He has a potential to make life very difficult for Westerners who are behaving badly, or any Westerners who are in Negros Oriental. But it's not the whole of the Philippines. But what do I know? I mean, tell me in the comments. Maybe there are vice governors and governors in other provinces saying the same thing. You know, let me know in the comments. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the full press conference, I think, so you can make your own decisions. You can hear what he says in full. Most of it is in Bisaya. Maybe you've got a girlfriend who can speak Bisayan. I don't know. But he does go between, you know, the various bits and bobs of what he wants to say. A lot of it is un-Filipino, un-foreigner related. It's about Dumagetti in general. And you can draw your own conclusions. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed, it'd be fantastic if you did. Whether you do, whether you don't, whatever you're doing, wherever you are, stay safe and be lucky.
Third, dagan kay foreigner nga abusive ron, magmotor, magsagit. Di ba? Dagan kay kung kita mabakay panglantan ng mga foreigner karon sa mga kuan. So nako gistorya mga kuan maghimot tag balaod ani mga foreigner diri nga abusado. Oh. Ha? I'm sorry, pudi pud tanan. Naagyoy mga foreigner nga murag. You know, ako English yung gamay ha, kay foreigner man ni basig magadungog. You know, this is Dumaguete. Dumaguete is a part of the Philippines. So you are now living in Negros Oriental, Dumaguete, in the Philippines. You will abide the laws of the Philippines. You will abide the laws of Negros Oriental. You will respect the people of Dumaguete. Di ba? So, now, ako raning ipaabot ninyo, mga katawhan, nga all foreigners will respect us, abide our law. Kay, dili pwede nga hawod sila. Dili pwede magbatagtan. Okay, maba kayo, abusive kayong uban. Kita ko sa Dumaguete naman ito ipakuan, di ba? So, daghan pa kayo, mag-traffic, daghan reports yun. Sagitan, matruma ni mga bata, sagitan. So, I don't know why foreigners is like that. Ang uban, ha? Ganabi? Kaya they think that they are, they are superior. So, di pwede na. Di ba? Di pwede na. Sakit rabag kumo ni Pilipino. Dito, kay komedya, hopefully, kaning mugamay ang mga reports. Daghan kay giabusaran. Yan na. Nayo sa kabarangay captain insultin nako, katawan ra kuno sila gipataw, katawan ra kuno mga ano. I will talk to the immigration na mo closely coordinate that paminawon sa I will talk to the commissioner of immigration. Special visit ko so that any complaints with the help desk for Negros Oriental only. Kaya usa man tas pinakadaghang foreigner karon, di ba? So help desk for Negros Oriental fast kay once a month ra maning meeting hearing sa Board of Immigration. Ang ilang hearing once a month. So kung di ka masulod sa hearing, pila na po sa tuig, pwede ka duwa ra ma-hearing. So muhangyo ko go fast nga facilitate ta dito para mapatanggal nato ni mga foreigner diri nga abusive. Nga wala ga respetar sa balaod sa Pilipinas. wala ka respetar sa balaod sa Pilipinas. Usahay magod ba sumingin sila, dili ka kasuna ko. Di ba? So mura na siya kung kuan. Dili man tanan, pero as per report, okay, karon taga ngani na lang. Now, ang mga tao sa Negros Oriental, kani gasugod mo tas droga, di ba? Pag-report niyo mga drugs, di na mo ma-aksyonan tanan, pero dagan guming na aksyonan. Ubay-ubay gyud ta. At so, accounting ha, in record sa police, almost 800 na ang nadakpan nato. Nadakpan sa kapulisan. Almost 800, 876 if I'm wrong. Sa EDG, PDEA, PNP, duwa na ni ka provincial director na nakapaspas ang pagdakop. Duwa na takatoy. Almost 1 year na ba ta dire? 1 year na matagalin ko, di ba? So tabang ra ko coordinate karon hangyo ko sa ang NBI manggod ang focus nila mga high value fan. Pero Ray is si Ray aktibo po na sa mga fan. Kaso lang dagko ang target nato sa NBI. So karon we are very effective. Effective kayo ang pulis kung tabangan sa gobyerno, kita po other part of the government, tabangan sa lokal kay daghan mag-message nako. Hatag information, right information. So karon na epektibo man tas droga, di ba? Sa other po concern niya ron ang Ford. So karon you can ask, you can magpatabang mo, pwede ra ko mo facilitate ana. Di lang mo mapaspas kayo kay usahay pag print daghan na mangugayo, di ba? Daghan na mag-message. Di man nato ma-reply kay admin ra man na i-print pa tanan, basahon na tanan. Tanaw na ton sa mga bugat mo ato yung facilitate pero may mga personal to na agawag asawa, gikukok ng asawa, di ko ta ka-facilitate ana. Oh, di ba? Idulag laing team. Oh. Wa ko tay mahimo ana. So, nagpasumbong sa atoa kaning foreigner. Kaning mga foreigner karon. Nga dagang abusive nga magsanggit nga sometimes gidala siya mga bata, mahadlok ng mga bata. Sagitan gas foreigner, tulisukon ka sa tubangan, ma-dirty fingers yung mga tubangan in front of your children, kay maghatod ka sa eskwelahan. Daghan kay mga cases nga na. So, makikoordinate sa immigration, sa HPG, because nabay lisensya sa Philippine license ni mga foreigner. Di ba? So, kasugod ni sumbungan man, I will take care of that. Tabang ko. Mayroon na ubang si Tagyaw pero di ko maulaw kay natay mga achievements. Sayo ka ita makikoordinate mga tog PDEA, mga tog NBI. Last week katong NBI. Happy ko nga ang atong dito sa Cebu si Sir Doming, di ba? Dire ato po gyapon former agent na po ang atong NIR na po dire. So malipayan gyud ko nga niadto po ko sa PNP, gihatag ko ni PD dito sa yang S2, gikuyugan ko ni S2 dito sa CIDG. We have a coordination sa CIDG sa Dumaguete Police Station. Inga nakapaspas ha. 7 a.m. ni anak ko og aganan. Timing wala si PD. Ang S2 ang naghandle nako paspas. So niyon ko nga ako i-take advantage on this position that I can help also the Philippine National Police. Kay kamo gani magsugod ni diri nako, sugod tabang pod ang community. Dili gud imposible nga dili na to ma-achieve ni sa tanan.